Hey, this is Zero at Cars to Infinity HD, and after completing my full uploaded walkthrough of Spongebob's Truth or Square on the Xbox 360, it's time to do a recap and review of my adventure through Bikini Bottom. And you know, when you think about it, the last 6 years haven't been that kind of Spongebob on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. There really just isn't a lot to choose from if you enjoy playing as the bright yellow sponge. You have Surf and Skate, which is a pretty flimsy Kinect game that doesn't work very well. You have Underpants Slam, which is a decent fast-paced arcade title. The Nicktoons MLB Baseball, which features a few of the SpongeBob characters, which is a pretty good game, but the only real action or platforming full-release title for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 is Truth or Square. Luckily, this game's actually really fun, but it's also really short. My entire 17-video walkthrough showing all 10 of the stages in the game clocks in at only 2.5 hours. Of course, I edited out the deaths or running in circles, but to play through the entire game once should take you somewhere in the ballpark of around 4 to 5 hours, so it can be completed in one day. There is, however, several reasons to play through the game a second time, as every stage features challenges that only unlock after you've completed the level once, and the challenges for the most part were pretty enjoyable. Now, the story revolves around SpongeBob losing the Krabby Patty formula, and you end up using a memory machine built by Plankton to try to remember where the formula is. Of course, Plankton is helping you because he wants the formula for himself. But the stages in the game were built around concepts from very specific episodes, such as meeting Sandy for the first time, or the Graveyard Shift episode in which Squidward tells the story of the hash-slinging slasher. If you're a fan of the television show, you're most likely going to really enjoy watching the cutscenes and playing through a game world that recreates the SpongeBob universe pretty well. As far as the difficulty goes, I have a good bit of personal experience playing through action and platforming games, so I breezed through this entire game and died maybe 5 or 6 times, but I did read an interesting article on a forum in which a few people stated that they thought this game was a bit hard, and I guess I can see that for a very young gamer, or if you don't have a lot of experience playing these types of games, but overall, this is a pretty straightforward and simple game once you understand your character's range in combat and also your enemies' patterns, which there's not a lot of variety in the enemies that you fight, and the way the game is built, it really eases you into the new types of enemies by generally offering lots of health restores and pickups in the same areas that you fight in. Extra lives are also really easy to come by, as I finished the game with right around 99 extra lives. Now, as you're playing through each stage, you're going to be collecting coins that you can turn around and use to upgrade your house, which is SpongeBob's house, or buy new character outfits. None of it's really mind-blowing, but it does give you a reason to try to collect as many as you can. At the end of each of the 3 acts in the game, there's some pretty well-designed boss battles that were entertaining and well thought out. Again, none of them were very difficult, but they were challenging at first until you understand where you need to hit each boss. There are a few very light-hearted puzzles in the game to solve, but again, these also aren't very challenging and aren't going to require much brain work. But for me personally, I had been wanting to play this game for some time, as I am a fan of SpongeBob, and for the most part, I had a lot of fun playing through this game, and it did not disappoint. It reminded me a lot of playing the Simpsons video game, or even Family Guy Back to the Multiverse last year. If you remove the SpongeBob license, it would be a pretty generic game, but they did a really great job of making this title fun for the fans. The only real gripe or complaint that I have is with the camera. 90% of the time it works great. It's usually at a good angle that allows you to see what's going on, but occasionally it will fight with you, jitter around, and once or twice it made it hard to see what was going on, but again, this didn't happen enough to hamper the fun factor. As far as a recommendation, if you're a fan of SpongeBob or if you're an achievement hunter, you're most likely going to really enjoy a weekend with this game. Just don't expect a very long game, or one that you're probably going to return to after you've collected all the achievements. There is an option to play in local co-op, which I didn't get a chance to test out myself, so that might be a selling point if you have a friend or family member that wants to sit down and play an easier game with you. But that's pretty much all I have for this review. This is Zero at Cars to Infinity HD, and thanks for stopping by.